What's going on? My name is Amy. Welcome to the channel. I'm in month 9 as a day trader, and in today's video I wanted to talk about I tried sim trading and here's why. But first things first, if you haven't already, come check us out on Telegram, Amy's Trading Tribe. We're a great growing community of traders. All levels of the game are in there. Everybody's super helpful, friendly, supportive, in times like these. And that's kind of where I'm gonna go at with this video. But the link to join's down below. Also, if you are curious about, how I've learned to day trade, I'm kind of on the verge of break even. It's like the last few months, I'm this close. So, feel free to check out my day trading resources down below. It's basically a compilation of every mentor, video, book, anything that's helped me along my journey. I don't come to think of it. I see it in the background of my video and I'm not sure if I've put the playbook in there by Mike Bellafiore, but he gave me the idea to start my own trading playbook. Anywho, getting into it. So I'm not a fan of sim trading, and I'll tell you exactly why. I've actually said this before many times on this channel, is that in my opinion, well, I should say in my own experience, it's not super beneficial for me to play in the sim because I know for a fact my brain treats it differently. So instead of having real money on the line, which my brain knows it's not real money, I'm not trading the same, right? I'm not experiencing the same emotions, The only time I'd ever sim traded before, literally the only time, was when I first set up TradeStation back here, and I had to make sure my hotkeys were working. So I took one day to just practice jumping in and out with one share. And I was like, okay, back to the real world. And yesterday I did not have a great trading day in my own opinion. And I focused on a stock that I feel like I deviated from my strategy. One of the reasons I decided to do sim today was because I took a larger than normal loss. And I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done for the week. For me, I'm used to trading between 10 to 20 shares. And if you go back on my channel, you'll see some videos in the, a couple months back where I was trading 1 share, 2 share, I was sort of scaling up. And yesterday, I was trading with 20, and I was trading a large cap ETF. And this is kind of a style I did many months ago. And the reason I was like, nope, I'm going into sim was because I could feel the last, this week and the last couple weeks, I was starting to deviate from my strategy, which I've honed from learning from Ross Cameron. I don't trade exactly like him, but I've developed a way where it suits me and my comfort level and my way of jumping in and out of trades. And it's been kind of slow. If you follow Ross, it's been a little slow for these small caps. And, some mornings you're just it's crickets, and you see maybe something pop and it immediately drops, or you just really have very few options on the day and you're like, okay, where's the good stocks, right? And what tends to happen, traders are like, I gotta be doing something. And I kind of felt like I was getting bored. So I was trying mechanical day trading, where I'd ask ChatGPT to help me come up with some ideas for setting up trades. And it was starting to mess with my stats a little because it's there's not a lot of Amy input in that. It's chat, tell me what to do. Okay, follow the plan. Okay, that didn't work. And I'm not blaming it by any means. It's all on me for where I want to get in and out. But I was just trying different things, and I'm like, whoa. Let's keep the main thing. And the last couple months, like I said earlier, I've been this close to that at least neutral zero line, where I'm hardly losing anything, or just completely flat. And I could feel I know that my breakthrough to the other side of profit is right around the corner. By no means am I down much at all these last few months. yeah, it was like slightly negative, but in the big picture and big scheme of things, I actually think I'm doing pretty darn good. Compared to, just what usually happens to traders, right? I had this thought too, most people quit after 6 months. If they're not making money or they haven't had a bunch of dumb luck, because let's be straight, people, unless you've got experience here, and you've been in this before, if you are doing well in the first 6 months, there's probably some elements of luck to it, okay? And that did happen to me in the very first couple months where I thought I kind of knew a strategy. And then, I was like, well, I guess this isn't really a strategy. Wasn't using a stop loss for one thing, or even a mental stop. And, I was kind of just flying on the bullish market back in December. So anyways, I could just feel it. Just like, I know I'm right there. So yeah, traded yesterday and I was just like, so feeling like, why am I even trading if the stuff that I normally trade isn't there? There's not a good setup, like stuff isn't presenting itself. I really just need to exercise the walk away option. And I think that's just kind of been a distraction for me lately, is to look at other things and maybe have something else going on. And I mentioned this in the previous video about having other strategies, but I feel like I deviated too soon. I think it's a good thing to have a playbook of strategies, but I deviated too soon from my breaking point. I mean, like right there, right? And I'm jumping around trying to do other things, and it's just not a good idea for me. And I was like, I'm going in the sim today. And what happened in the sim? Well, I started doing the wrong stuff again, like trading stuff I shouldn't be trading, large cap things again, and earnings, stuff that's on earnings. Cause I'm like, well, at least it's moving, And it's like, oh my goodness, like I have to just kind of like reset, put myself back on the train tracks here and stick to the plan. Stick to the Amy's version of Trading Like Ross plan and cut out the noise, And by the end of my sim trading session, I ended green. Well, I ended with a green trade. I didn't end green, but I ended with a green trade. And I was like, I felt like I had my groove back. I was trading, I think it was CREG. I don't have it on. No. Okay, never mind. I think it was CREG. And that was much more my speed. It was like a $2 stock. I tried some different things with it. I initially I have my settings on TradeStation for my normal trades. Oh, and I backed myself down. I said, next week, I'm starting at 10 shares again, and I could just scale in. Like if it's working, hit my hotkey, boom, get in. I don't need to start with 20. I think that was a little bit of something I shouldn't have been doing this past week when I was trading stuff that cost like $90. That was a mistake. I should have downsized. Anywho, I started, trading this thing, and it was such a low price stock. You expect it to kind of move like a couple of cents. And I'm like, okay, let's just see what happens if I buy 100 shares. So I put in an order in like the trading bar on the top of TradeStation, because all my hotkeys are set for 10. So unless I want to hit 10 times to enter, which I don't, that's not a good option. So I had it just manually set up there. I put in a limit price, and I played with that a few times where I'd get in with 100 and then take profits with my hotkeys, hitting F10. And it took a little bit. I got in a groove. I captured like kind of some break-even trades, small loss on one, like down 60 cents or something. And then finally, the last time I went in and out, I did 100 shares and I immediately went to green. And I was like, oh yes, finally I could see, what this might play out like. So I started scaling a little bit, selling 10 at a time, scaling out, watching the level 2. That's really all I'm looking at these days, by the way. And I feel like it's really helped a lot. And to make sure that I, first of all, know exactly what my average cost is. And I finally have the settings correct on TradeStation to know this, TradeStation. And then also to keep an eye on the level 2 where there's a great spot where it's just bid and ask right next to each other. So as soon as I get in, I'm watching what that bid goes to, because that's what my hotkey is set for to sell on. Sometimes I look at the P&L, and then by the time you hit sell, you may have some slippage in there because maybe the bid moved, or maybe I think I'm up a certain amount and I'm not because of the price difference there. So that was what I did, was I just scaled out. And it was kind of cool because it was like, oh, what would happen, right, if you had the ability to sell 10 times, and see what actually might play out. And in every case, I was locking up profit when I was like selling. Oh, it went up a penny. Okay, cool. Another penny. Then it had a nice little move, like 3 or 4 or 5 cents. And I'm like, oh, cool, sell. And then I, finally scaled out. And it's like, by the time all that's done, I look at my P&L and I'm like, $5.80. And I'm like, wow, 100 shares in. And I did capture some moves. I did scale out. And I was proud of myself for that, but I was really shocked at how little P&L that turned out to be, which made me think, okay, wow, I really, going forward, when I've got these $2 to $20 is kind of my range, sweet spot of buying, stocks on the day trading side, that I look at that and really gauge what would be a good entry here that would give me a good reward. Because if I was trading 10 shares of that sucker, I would have made 58 cents. Even if I scaled in a few times, let's say like I scaled in 2 or 3 times, it was like $1. But, your risk is still on the table. And so that taught me, playing in the sim, like, okay, maybe I really get aggressive when I'm trading for real on these lower price stocks, especially if you go green right away. Like that last trade at 100, I went green immediately, and I don't think it ever even went to red. So yay on that. Like I said, I did put in a limit buy on that. I had a specific price set for entry. And that's something else I've been playing with on TradeStation, is to use their, what they call matrix. Thinkorswim calls it a ladder, but I like to call it a ladder. So it's got this like columns here, and you can move your little mouse and just click, and it'll say, okay, you've got an order for 10 shares at $2.16 or whatever. And then you can drag and drop it if you want. And also figured this out too. The trading bar, like I was playing with today, where I wanted 100 shares, I have it over here in this corner, which you can't see because my head's in the way, like way up in here. You're not going to see it, but once you place your order there, you can actually then see it on the ladder, which I thought was really cool, because I kept thinking, oh, I got to cancel it if I want to change the price I want to get in at. There's a cancel button, real easy. But yeah, I once, like third time around doing this, I finally see, oh, my order's on the, on the ladder, and I could just drag it and drop it at that point. So, and then it was still for 100, like I'd initially put in. But the default settings for normally when I'm trading live, I have that guy set to 10. I have my hotkeys now set to 10 shares. So yeah, something just kind of like was a relief today to just trade and test, and realized I was still trying to deviate and go trade other things. And then I'm like, no, like go look at Momo. That's what helped me today, find this CREG. Go look at the scanner, see what's popping. I think, I traded AVAH. That was a loser. Some of the stocks I traded that were momentum stocks, knew I was off my game, because I'm like, oh, it's on scanners, and da-da-da. Losers. And then go back to see that I hadn't even looked at the float. And I'm like, oh, geez, some of these had like 88 million. And I'm like, Amy, get on track, stay focused. We want float 20 million or less, and even better, under 10 million. But I gotta say, the last couple of weeks, and things have just kind of felt like they're drying up a little bit in terms of trading opportunities in this momentum style of small caps and low float. So that being said, I have done a lot of focus lately on my long-term investing, which if you go on the channel now, you'll see some of my videos about that, trades. I'm talking about my IRA and dividend income, plans I have to retire early. All that sort of stuff is a big focus for me right now, while things are kind of, I don't want to call it slow, but it does feel slow with the day trading. So anyways, if you're interested in those kinds of videos, feel free to check out the channel. I have a playlist that's called Stock Market Investing, and all the videos I've ever created about long-term investing are under that specific playlist, so you can easily jump to them. And that's pretty much all I got for you. Feel free to come check us out on Telegram. Like I said, free to join, great community, got amazing people in there. There's always someone to talk to, like pretty much all hours of the night, because we got people all over the world in there. And then pretty much people start popping in about 6 a.m. Eastern time to start trading the pre-market. So there's usually always somebody calling out, you know, tickers, and some people have said that, you know, since I joined the tribe, I've, you know, gotten way better at my trading. Some people have turned to profit. Some people just really appreciate having other people to talk to about trading, because I don't know about y'all, but in real life, fortunately, I have like one person I can actually talk to a little bit, but he's more of a swing trader. Other than him, like, not too many people, you know, so get weird looks, you know. We were like, oh, yeah, good for you. You know, like, I have no idea what I'm talking about, talking ticker symbols and things like that. So anyways, guys, come join us down below. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.